If yelling and punishment actually worked, you wouldn't still be doing it. So, most parents I work with are not trying to yell. They've already tried being patient, being calm, explaining, setting consequences, and then nothing changes. Who hasn't been there? I can't tell you how many times parents have said to me, I yelled, they stopped, and then the next day we were right back where we were. They've also said a lot of other things beyond yelling, crying, threatening, making threats that they don't do. That's just not getting you anywhere. And that's why you're here, because you're really rethinking about why is this actually happening and what can I do? And that's why you got to stay and listen to the end of this episode so that you really get the tools that you need to break this reactivity cycle. So we start seeing these same behaviors, the same reactions, the same frustrations. And that's the moment when parents really start thinking, what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I missing as a parent? I know a lot of you feel like you're a failure or you're repeating cycles that your parents are repeating. And that's why you're here, because we're going to change all of that. There's really a reality. So, like, this is the hard part to hear, and that yelling and punishment don't fail because you're doing them wrong. They fail because they're being used at the wrong time. Now, I mean, listen, I'm Italian. We yell. I mean, it just happens. But I really do kind of save it. I just want people to know. I try to lead with humor and calm and all that, but sink in for a minute, because what you're doing isn't working. And so this is about working smarter, not harder, and you can do it. When your child is dysregulated, their nervous system, you know, this is in that stress response. Their brain is focused on protection, not learning, not reasoning, not changing behavior. So when you yell or punish in that moment, you're adding more threat to an already activated nervous system. Now, this does not mean kids don't receive consequences. What this is saying is when they're dysregulated, you're kind of wasting your time, which you kind of know that. So again, all parents, kids should receive consequences when it's been clearly laid out. You've got to do X, Y, and Z. If you don't get this grade or turn in your homework, here are the consequences, whatever it is. I'm a mother of a teenager, so I'm thinking about grades of a high schooler. So what actually happens to them? Like, what's going on? Why is what you're doing not landing? What happens when you're in this yelling cycle? Because there's three things that are going to happen when you get stuck in a yelling cycle. So one is escalation. They're going to get louder, more reactive, harder to reach, and they're going to shut down, withdraw, they're going to avoid, they're going to disconnect, and you might get some short-term compliance. You might, but nothing is going to change underneath. They're not going to internalize these changes, and that's why you see so much inconsistency and why you feel stuck, because something appears to work, but then the pattern keeps repeating. So note that's in there, that you're understanding your really need to change what's driving the behavior. And the behavior is driven by the nervous system. And yelling is not going to do anything. So instead of asking, why won't they listen? Start asking, what state is their nervous system in right now? Talk a lot about being a detective. And I'm going to talk a lot more about it in our book. When we add it into real life, we stop the A in comms, we stop avoiding personalizing the behavior, because we look at it from a lens of a behaviorist. And even if you thought about this, like if you were babysitting somebody or you're watching a friend's kids, you wouldn't personalize their behavior. I don't think so. And I don't. And you can remove that emotional part of it. That's what we got to do. We got to be the calm wall. And how do we deal with this? So step one is we're going to regulate in the moment. We're going to lower our voice. We're going to slow our body. We're going to reduce the input. Even if your child isn't calm yet, you become that calm. That's step one. Step two is we're going to connect. Before you correct, you're going to say less, say something simple or not at all, but you could say something like, I see this is hard. I'm here, because connection is going to lower the threat. And without that, nothing else is going to move. Okay. And then step 3 is about correction and teaching. So regulate, connect, correct. Because after regulation is happening, we move them out of that threat mode into red, into yellow, where co regulation is happening in connection. Then we can go into the green and kids can learn. And that's where correction can happen when they are regulated enough to absorb it. It's not about regulating them so they can tolerate it because they can handle it more. Yes, they can handle it more, but they can absorb it, hear you, and then make the changes. Hopefully, independently, they might need your help depending on their makeup. I don't really believe that kids are a certain age and they never need help. I just don't believe that. That's just baloney and cheese. But this is where most parents rush because correction comes after the nervous system settles, not during the storm, not before. And that's when we revisit the behavior. We set the boundary, we problem solve. We really talk them through getting them to think without them personalizing it and feeling criticized and sensitive about it. And that's what regulation is. Regulation really is about being able to tolerate distress, being able to get activated, but go back to baseline. Our regulation first parenting, which is what I trademarked and just the foundation of everything I do, it's the foundation of the book. We have to regulate, connect, and then correct. That is the order. Not because it sounds good, it does, but it's because the brain actually works that way. If you're going to yell sometimes, you're going to lose your patience sometimes. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It means you have a nervous system that's overwhelmed too. Nobody's perfect. We need 80% perfect. And really, what matters most is what happens next. You can come back and you can say, oh, this got really big for me. I got overwhelmed. Let's reset. And that teaches your child what you want: repair, safety, emotional regulation. It doesn't mean that they should let people walk all over them. It's really teaching them that, everybody dysregulates sometimes. It's what you do after and how you learn. You don't have to get loud with your kid. You don't need to have bigger consequences. You just need a different entry point, and that's what regulation first. If this created a shift in thinking about what your behavior, your own behavior, your child's behavior is really what's happening at home. Is this where you're feeling stuck at home because things feel out of control? Well, you can pre-order the Dysregulated Kid and you can get bonuses that can start helping you right away. And you can learn more by going to drroseann.com/dysregulated kid or type in the dysregulated kid and you'll find links to all the major retailers. But when we start thinking, I've got to break out of this yelling and punishing cycle, the first step is to put your own oxygen mask on and regulate yourself because your child is impossible. Isn't capable of doing that if you aren't doing that too. And just know regulation, no matter how much your kid is struggling or you're struggling, it is absolutely possible. You just need to take those little micro steps. You're here, you're doing it. Do one thing for yourself and be consistent about it. Get yourself regulated, then help your child regulate, and know that it's going to take 10 times longer than you think. And that's okay. Look at the little steps that they're moving forward because that's how we create change in our nervous system. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that it's getting you out of this yelling cycle because it's not fun to be doing that. It's not what you thought parenting was, but you have the power to change it. And it starts with regulating first.
Want more insights and solutions? Well, subscribe to our Dysregulation Insider and it will show up in your inbox every week.